How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we create comics and manga. In today's video, we're going to be talking about creating female characters in your comics, manga, and webtoon projects. Because let's face it, anime and manga's portrayal of women can sometimes be a little questionable. Joining me today is Krimanga, an amazing artist and friend that I know you all are following. Krimanga is the author of a webtoon series called Liars Open Fire, which you can read for free over on VoiceMe and Webtoon. Before we jump into today's video, let's first hear a word from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. With Skillshare, you can explore new skills, deepen your creative passion, and get lost in creativity. Right now I'm taking a class called The Road to Manga, Inking 101 by the Tokyo Pop mangaka Olga Rogalski. As a published Saturday AM comic artist, knowing how to ink in the manga style is essential. This class has taught me the fundamentals of inking like a Japanese mangaka. I learned about the different types of manga ink, textures, tools, and techniques that replicate professional manga. I've even begun incorporating these new skills into my digital art. With the Skillshare Premium membership, you'll gain unlimited access to thousands of video lessons and class projects. Classes can range from illustration, animation, creative writing, freelancing, and much more. There are even some super cool comic and manga making tutorials that I'll definitely be checking out. Skillshare is an amazing place to fuel your curiosity. The best part is Skillshare has classes that fit any schedule and any skill level. In fact, most of the classes are under 60 minutes. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, which means that there are no ads and they will always be launching new premium classes. Skillshare also has a very strong creative community that you can tap into for support, encouragement, and inspiration at any time. But wait, there's more, because I have a special offer for you. The first 1,000 people to use this link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can explore your creativity. Do something today that you couldn't do yesterday with short classes designed for real life. Thank you again, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video and continuing to help the creative community. And now, let's get back to the video.
Hi, my name is Kristen Hackos, and I'm known as Krimanga online, and I'm a webcomic creator. I'm the creator of Liars Open Fire, which is published on VoiceMe, and also available to read for free on Webtoon. So Liars Open Fire is about a 16-year-old boy named Tasha Rogers, and he's cursed. He has the ability to know when people are lying, but whenever people lie around him, it's really painful, and it makes the scar on his back grow even larger, and at this point, the pain is so great that he wants to go find his missing father, who may know a cure to the curse. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, VoiceMe, Webtoon, and TikTok as Krimanga, and Krimanga art on Redbubble.
Jumping into today's topic, I want to address the elephant in the room. Throughout history, women have always been done dirty by men, especially in anime, manga, and comics. Think of the over-sexualization of female superheroes in both Marvel and DC comics. Think back to your favorite shonen series like Naruto, Bleach, and My Hero Academia. How many times have you seen female characters pushed to the sidelines? How many times have you seen female characters used only for fan service and ecchi scenes? How many times have you seen female characters only exist to please or thirst over the male protagonist? Too many, I'll tell you, and that's why we're making this video.
Generally speaking, I feel that the portrayal of women in anime and manga is relatively disappointing. Especially in battle manga, written usually by men and for young boys. It's a genre that I really enjoy, but dislike most of the female characters in. And this is second only to the isekai genre or the ecchi genre, which I can get into later.
Shonen is a term used to describe a genre of Japanese comics and animated films aimed primarily at a young male audience, approximately middle school to high school age. Shonen series are usually defined by their action-filled plots. Some popular shonen manga that you may have heard of include Dragon Ball, Naruto, My Hero Academia, One Piece, Fairy Tail, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Hunter x Hunter. While the main demographic for shonen manga is young boys, there are many women who are fans of the genre.
But a general list of titles that I would say have good female characters would be Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood, My Hero Academia Seasons 1 and 2, Tokyo Revengers, Purple Hyacinth, those are the ones I'm talking about, The Promised Neverland, Great Pretender, Darling in the Franxx Part 1. A lot of these are more recent series. They shed the stereotypes that have been written in female characters in the past and actually have real personality.
Popular shonen manga like Blue Exorcist, Fullmetal Alchemist, The Promised Neverland, Inuyasha, Noragami, The Gray Man, Magi, Yamana and the Seven Witches, and The Case Study of Vanitas were all written by women. So why exactly is the shonen genre so notorious for poorly writing female characters? And how exactly can we learn from these situations so we can ensure that the female characters in our comics, manga, and webtoon projects are well written?
For instance, I'm going to talk about Tokyo Revengers. It's definitely not, it does not highlight women at all in this series. Women are definitely on the sidelines. But as a girl reading and watching battle manga, I'm not necessarily looking for a front and center female, though I'm looking for one with a good heart and intelligent, and Hina from Tokyo Revengers fits this bill pretty well. She's supportive, and she understands that she's physically weak. She can't do much, but she's such a strong mental character. She stands up for Takamichi, she stands up for what's right, and she helps in a way where she pulls her own weight, not getting in the way, and being helpless and having to be saved. I really respect a girl who's intelligent and strong-willed like that.
One of my favorite shonen manga series is Tuwaru Kugaku no Railgun, or A Scientific Railgun in English. This series was published in monthly comic Denkeki Daio, a shonen magazine best known for Waiting in the Summer, Bloom Into You, Eromanga Sensei, Toradora, and Shakugan no Shana. A certain scientific railgun follows a group of 4 girls with psychic abilities and the dangerous situations they find themselves in. This series has tons of action, cool character designs, and well-written female characters. Each character is fully fleshed out with their own unique personality, dreams, fears, and hobbies. Instead of being sidelined like in most shonen manga, each girl works hard to get stronger and pulls their own weight. A common problem in the media is creators reducing female characters to damsels in distress. When these characters aren't helpless, they are often reduced to love interest. I'm sure you've seen plenty of anime where the female characters only exist to serve some sort of romantic plotline. For this very reason, the Bechdel Test was created. The Bechdel Test is a measure of the representation of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least 2 women who talk to each other about something other than a man. The requirement that 2 women must be named is sometimes added.
The other series, Purple Hyacinth, the series on Webtoon, is amazing, and it does have female main characters. It puts females front and center, and not only are they physically strong, but they are the most realistic and admirable women that I've ever read in manhwa or manga. They're not stuck in these stereotypes. They grow and they change. They're unique. This, realistic mindset and conversation between the characters in this manhwa pique my interest as a female reader and makes me want to be like those female characters, Kim and Lauren.
On the other hand, more times than not, manga and anime, especially shonen series, are guilty of poorly written female characters. By poorly written, I'm referring to characters who only exist for fan service scenes like Tamaki from Fire Force and Every Girl from To Love Ru. Poorly written female characters may also refer to women who exist solely as love interests. Poorly written female characters may also refer to women who are sidelined or reduced to damsels in distress. Think of a character like Orihime from Bleach. Even though Orihime has an overpowered ability, she's reduced to a support role. In one arc, she's even kidnapped and held prisoner.
There are many series where I think the women are written poorly. A lot in classic shonen, isekai, and ecchi. Let's take Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, for example. It's as fantasy young action manga as you can get. And the main female character is probably the biggest turnoff to the series, and it's why I dropped it after chapter 1. She's this helpless, cutesy character that can't stand up for herself and can't think of beyond I love the main character. This type of character can be found in other series, even as a physically strong character, like maybe Mikasa from Attack on Titan. The only word that comes out of her mouth is ere. That's found in so many female characters that it gets on my nerves. To me, these are poorly written females, but there are also series that write females to the point of kind of demeaning. And one pretty great example of this is the first 3 episodes of High School DD. It's an ecchi show.
Ecchi is a genre of manga and anime characterized by light and playful sexually suggestive themes and imagery. Some popular ecchi series include No Game No Life, Kill la Kill, High School of the Dead, and Food Wars. Even if a series isn't solely ecchi, many shonen, shoujo, and seinen series include ecchi elements as a form of fan service. The reception for ecchi is always going to be mixed. In terms of writing good female characters, it can sometimes be demeaning or misogynistic if done incorrectly.
Me personally, I don't like the genre. I can't help despise how females are portrayed. I watch boys action, so I'm used to the kind of curvy male characters, but not to the extent of the show. I couldn't stand to watch female characters that can't think beyond liking the male main character. They're too cutesy, high-pitched voices that shatters my ears. They never wear any clothes, which I understand. It's for boys, I can understand the kind of point of view. And they're extremely unrealistic personalities with no depth, but that type of character is the dream girl for these 3 main male characters. I can't help but dislike it.
I want to clarify that we are in no way discrediting sex positivity or sex workers. I believe it's totally fine to include suggestive themes and imagery if it's vital to your comic, manga, or webtoon story. What we are mostly referring to is the instance where over-sexualization is only used to appease the male gaze.
There are also females that were great but became poorly written later, in my opinion. A good example of this would be Urako Chako from My Hero Academia. I used to love her. She basically always liked Deku, but she had her own personality and beliefs besides the fact that she, really liked him. And she's really strong in seasons 1 and 2, especially in the sports festival. But in seasons 4 and 5, I swear every single scene is her looking at Deku and blushing. And her original coolness and personality and original heart is just gone.
So, where do you think anime manga goes wrong when writing female characters?
I think writing female characters in manga usually goes wrong from the writer's previous influences. As an artist for webcomics, I do get young male shonen writers, and they want to partner up with me, which I usually don't partner up with people, but I like reading their scripts anyway. These guys want to write the next Naruto or big 3 shonen, not something new or fresh. And they pick up the sexist bad habits of female character writing that the old stuff has in really, really classic shonen. And I read these scripts, and the mothers always have to be naggy and stay at home. The girls, they aren't thoughtful people. Writers overuse stereotypes very, very easily. Let's say there's a badass girl. The writer writes about a badass girl in a fight. She happens to be wearing a mask. But the moment she takes off her mask, all the guys have to fall in love, and they refuse to fight her. Girls want to be treated seriously. Why do you think she was wearing a mask? So that she'd be treated seriously and people would fight her. All that training just gone into, the ground. Girls don't want to be treated like you can't do anything. And I find that so much in these amateur scripts. All these stereotypes make young writers recreate females that young female readers never want to look up to.
But Kree, how do you go about creating your female characters?
I go about it by creating a base personality, thinking maybe slightly on a stereotype, and then extending that by thinking what she cares about, what she likes, make sure she's talking about and does things that are unique and not found in every other story ever in classic shonen, and express those qualities with necessary foreshadowing. Make sure you know your story so that you know how your character acts will affect the future events. At first, I fell into the trap of the shonen influence by making my character Araya from my series Liars Open Fire just this basic, single personality, goofy character. But as the story progresses, you and the reader learns that she will do anything for her friends, and she cares about them a lot. She's also physically strong. But I emphasize these admirable qualities with a foil character, her friend Nick, who is jealous and won't do absolutely anything for his friends. So you can see the difference in their personalities. You can make a female character with flaws though. They don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying to make every female a perfect character. You can make her with flaws. Make sure you're writing a female with flaws and not a flawed person because she is female. Study series written by girls too if you are weak at writing girls. Also talk to girls. Have a woman or someone of a different point of view read your manga, and you have to be willing to be critiqued. I have one tip for those who have no clue about how to write girls, and for those who only think of stereotypes when you're writing females. And that is, write your scripts as if they're all dudes, or ungendered. Write personalities like you yourself, because that's who you know best, or people you know. But when you go to storyboard or draw, just pick a couple of those characters and draw them as female. That's probably the best way you can take to writing girls in manga, because they're more similar to the male characters than you might think.
So to recap, in order to write a strong female character, keep these concepts in mind when you're planning out your comics, manga, and webtoons. 1. Your female character should have their own opinions. 2. Your female character is their own person with their own identity. 3. Your female character should have flaws. 4. Your female character should be tough in her own right. 5. Your female character should be a three-dimensional character with complex emotions. 6. Your female character should have multiple kinds of strength. 7. Your female character doesn't have to be a tomboy, but she can gain strength from the other women around her. 8. Your female character should be more than just her looks.
My final words of wisdom are to read. If you're a writer, reading novels seriously helps your writing ability and expands your knowledge, expands your vocabulary, don't ever stop reading. It will help you throughout your lifetime, in your life and in your pursuits as a writer.
Thank you so much, Cree, for joining me in today's video. Please remind my audience where they can support you.
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and read my webcomics on VoiceMe and Webtoon.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out some of my other ones after you finish watching this one. We've already covered a ton of cool comic making tutorials such as how to script your comic, how to create concept art, and how to make manga with bad artwork. If you want to see me create manga live, then be sure to stop by one of my upcoming live streams. I always announce when I'm going live over on my Instagram account. If you miss a live stream, you can easily check out the VOD by going over to my unlisted live stream playlist called Livestream VODs.
Okay guys, thanks for having me. Please like and subscribe the video, subscribe to Monitor's channel, and see you next time. Bye everyone!